In this video, I'm going to talk about the US culture in terms of its diversity in landscapes as well as demographics. Before we try to understand any generalizations about the US, it is good to keep in mind that the US is a large country with a lot of diversity. As you know, the US is in North America and it is the fourth largest country in terms of its area. And it includes 50 states spanning a large area, including Alaska all the way up north that is next to Russia and Hawaii in the Pacific Ocean. I live in this state in Pennsylvania.
The US is often divided into four regions: the Northeast, the Midwest in the middle of the country, the South, and the West. With this large area, the US has a lot of interesting natural features, like the Denali mountain here, which is the tallest mountain in the US. And when you get there, you can see some beautiful pictures here. The mountain is quite tall and Alaska is cold, so you can see there's a lot of snow on the mountain. Now I'm going to take you to flat cornfields in the middle of the country. The middle of the country, or the Midwest, is quite flat. Moving away from the flat cornfields, we are visiting Joshua Tree National Park. It is in a desert, and the US has a lot of deserts as well. And I have been to this park, so I want to show you some pictures. It is named after the Joshua tree, so there are a lot of them. And there are a lot of rocks, and there are a lot of cacti as well. So it is quite interesting and beautiful. Now I'm taking you to Miami, a tropical area of the US, and you can see a smooth and large beach here, and you see palm trees instead of Joshua trees or cacti. It's very different. The US also has prairies like this, with tall grass and many different kinds of animals and different plants and trees there as well. Now I'm taking you to Shenandoah National Park, and what you're seeing is a mountain with a lot of trees and a vast area of trees, beautiful trees and beautiful views when you can get to a nice overlook. My family just drove through the park and we could also enjoy the beautiful views here. And I'm showing just another point of view of the park. A lot of forests here. And finally, I'm taking you to the state of Maine, which is in the northeast of the US. And I'm taking you to Reed State Park, also because my family just visited the park. You see a beach here, but actually when you zoom out, you can see that the coastline here is not smooth. It is rather rugged. So you can say that the US has a lot of rugged coastlines as well. And now I'm zooming out, and you can see that the US is very diverse in terms of its climate, in terms of its geography, natural features and landscapes. And this creates some differences among different regions in the country. The US is also very diverse in terms of its demographics. Demographics refers to information about the population and about different groups of people. According to the US Census in 2019, the population of the US is around 328 million. Within this population, about 14% were foreign born. It means that 14% of the people living in the US were born in another country, like me. The white population still accounts for the majority of the people living in the US, 61%. And the Black population is around 13%. Asian and Pacific Islanders, like me, account for 6.1% of the population. Native Americans account for 1.3%. And finally, Hispanics, people from Latin America, account for about 18.5% of the population. And this is a growing population in the US. In addition, it is predicted that the US population is going to continue to grow, and by 2060, the population will be around 404 million. There is also an interesting phenomenon of the US population, which is called the graying of America. Gray refers to the color gray in someone's hair, like me, my hair is turning gray. So the graying of America means that more and more people are of a higher age in the US. In 2020, the percentage of people at 60 years of age and older is 17%. And this number in 2040 is predicted to be 22%. And in 2060, it is predicted to be 23%. So there are more senior citizens in the country than currently. Another trend that is happening in the US is there are more minority groups, or there are more people in different minority groups, like Asian Americans, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans. Those are different minority groups. And it is predicted that these minority groups together will become the majority by 2050. So again, this is an interesting trend in the US demographics. Moving on, as I mentioned, there are different regions in the US, and there is regional variation as well in terms of the US culture. Even in terms of the English language, there are different accents and vocabulary. And I'm going to show you the map of American English through this website. So I'm showing the map of American English, and this map was put together by Robert Delaney, a reference associate at Long Island University a while ago. And he actually drew the different areas with different dialects or different accents or different ways that people use the English language in the US. And I'm not going to talk too much, but I'm going to show you a video. And you will see some differences in the way people use English through this video.
Water. Water.
Water.
Water.
You can see that people pronounce water differently.
Oil. 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 Oil.
Different pronunciation.
Again.
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 There's some different vocabulary as well.
Soda.
Soda.
I call it pop.
A Coke. If you're in the South, somebody's like, you want a Coke? You say yes. They're then going to ask you what kind of Coke. And then you'll be like, Dr. Pepper.
Interesting that the word soda is used in many different parts of the US, but in the South, everything is a Coke. And then you need to specify what kind of drink you want. It doesn't mean that it's the Coca-Cola. right? So that's interesting. There's some variation in the way people pronounce words, as well as the way people use words. Also, there's some regional variation in the kinds of dishes that people eat. I'm sharing with you two pictures here. One is a salad with some French fries in it. And this is called the Pittsburgh salad because that's what people in Pittsburgh do sometimes. And I live in Pittsburgh. So this is different from other areas when people put French fries on their salad. And then the other picture is a meal that is common in the south of the US. You see some barbecue chicken here, some bean here, some cornbread here, potato salad, and as well as collard green. And this is more commonly found in the south rather than in other areas of the US. In terms of the regional character, there are some stereotypes, or you can say that there are some generalizations about the way people behave and their character in different regions of the US. However, I would like you to be really careful about making a general observation. You can have some general observations, but when you talk to people individually, you should treat that person as an individual and try to really know that person instead of making guesses or making assumptions about how they are and how they behave. So New Englanders, people from all the way up north in the northeast of the US are considered serious. So this is maybe an adjective that you know. Maybe you don't know, but they are considered serious. So I want to teach you how to pronounce this word, serious. The stress is on the first syllable, serious. And this means showing deep thoughts. You're really serious. You're really thinking about something. And I'm not joking. I'm serious. That's an example that you can use. Please take my suggestion seriously, right? Please think about it carefully. Please really take this seriously. Southerners are considered gracious and leisurely. So let me explain what gracious means. Gracious here means polite in a way that shows respect. When you're polite and you show respect to other people, then you're gracious and nice. It was very gracious of her to offer us a place to stay. So it was nice of her. Leisurely comes from the word leisure. You may have a lot of leisure activities like playing soccer, watching TV, and leisurely is an adjective to mean not hurried or slow and relaxed. So you tend to be relaxed instead of being hurried all the time or being too serious. After a leisurely lunch, we went to see a movie. So you can use it to describe an activity as well, a leisurely lunch. Maybe you ate it slowly. Westerners are considered casual and friendly. And I think you know the word friendly, but the word casual, the stress on the first syllable, casual, means not formal, right? And you can use this to describe clothes, casual clothes. Instead of wearing a suit, maybe you wear casual clothes, jeans and t-shirts. Casual restaurants, maybe it's not too fancy, not too formal, but it's casual. You can also say a casual atmosphere, an informal atmosphere, not too formal. And Midwesterners in the US are considered conservative. So they are considered more conservative than other areas of the country in the US. Conservative here, let me explain it to you as well. The stress is on the second syllable, conservative. Conservative. Here, it means not liking or accepting changes or new ideas. So you like things to be the same, you don't like new ideas so much, then you may be considered conservative. He has some conservative ideas about how life should be. Maybe life should be like in the past and it shouldn't change so much. And I can say that he has some conservative ideas about how life should be. However, apart from those differences, there are some common influences in the US as well. And wherever you go, you may see these common things in the US. You may see the kind of similar shopping centers like Macy's or Walmart. You may see similar supermarkets. You may see the same department and discount stores. You may see restaurant chains that are the same in different parts of the country. You see McDonald's everywhere, Burger Kings, KFC everywhere, hotels, motels, apartment buildings. People may watch the same TV shows and movies, and schools may also look the same and operate somewhat similarly to one another. So these are the common influences in the US that kind of pull people together in a way. And I have to say that these influences are powerful, not just in the US, but sometimes in other countries too, because you may find these things in other countries as well. So I want to explain another word that may be useful here for you. Influence is a verb, and when you use it as a verb, it means to change or affect something. The stress is on the first syllable. Influence, influence. My parents greatly influenced me. Influence is also a noun, and it means the power to change or affect something. So my first teacher had a great influence on me, right? So it can be both a verb and a noun. When you use it as a noun, you should use the preposition on. Have an influence on something or somebody. So I hope that it is helpful. And in summary, you can see that the US is a country of great diversity in its climate, geography, landscapes, like I have already shown you, races and ethnicities, and regional characteristics. However, there are also some common influences all over the country. There are some similarities and generalizations of American behavior and values as well. So in the next presentation, I'm going to talk about some common American behavior and value. I hope that the video is helpful to you. And if you want to see more videos from me to learn more about the US and about English, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you and see you next time.